What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Hopefully you had a good weekend. You had a lot of fun here on the channel. Played some games, looked at some esports news, and had probably, I would say, the biggest spawncast we've ever had, kind of celebrating the 1 year of the Switch. We had tons of people on, and because you guys made that video reach 1,000 likes while we were live, the live stream, we ended up leaving it public. So if you missed it, you can view it right now. It's up in the card, actually, if you want to click that and have a listen. It's about 2 hours long. It's a full podcast. Tons of fun. We even had Philip from IGN come back and have spend some time with us. Today, though, we have a bunch of stuff to get into. We have to talk about a port company trying to court Capcom, or even maybe challenge Capcom for, really at this point, the ability to port Monster Hunter World to the Nintendo Switch, something a lot of people believe to be impossible. However, this port company thinks it is doable. We're going to go over all of that and more, guys, today. Let's get started. And we're going to start with this Monster Hunter World story right away. And this started when Adam Boyes posted on Twitter really asking Capcom, saying, hey, we can make this happen. And this was posted in a tweet saying, Dear Monster Hunter team at Capcom, we understand that porting the game to Nintendo Switch is challenging, but this is exactly what Iron Galaxy does. Give us a shot and we won't let you down. So this is interesting to see, because usually when I guess someone would go public like this on Twitter, this is for everyone to see. Tons of likes, tons of retweets and everything. Everyone obviously is excited when they read this, because they're posting with excitement and hoping it would happen. This is kind of them saying, hey, you know, give us a shot. Saying in a public setting means that, well, maybe they weren't able to get their attention before. Much easier, I guess, in this case, to get their attention by posting it online and get, well, a lot of support and a following here, try to make this happen. Now, it's very interesting to see Iron Galaxy say this. Now, they have kind of a checkered history, or checkerboard history. They ported, say, Arkham Knight to the PC. We saw how that went. Not well. They had to pull it from Steam because it was just done so poorly over onto the PC. They did Borderlands 2, which was another one. Borderlands 2 on the Vita, which was another one that people see as not very good. Although I will say that going to the Vita in the first place was pretty impressive for the hardware they were working with there. Not the best version, though. In fact, a lot of people ended up hacking the Vita just to overclock it so it was at least playable when it came to frame rate. Now, they also ported over, most recently with the Nintendo Switch even, Skyrim on the Switch, which, by the way, is an awesome port. Moving that game over with the quality that it has, very impressive. I also want to point out that the other two, the ones that were poorly done, were before Adam Boyes took over in 2016, whereas Skyrim on the Switch is after he took over as CEO of the company that's here porting games. So, could they, in this case, move Monster Hunter World over to the Switch? That is the question now that everyone's wondering. The real question we should be asking is, will Capcom even respond? Are they interested in moving it to the Switch? Because there's a possibility that they're working on their own game for the Switch right now, and they wouldn't want a port of Monster Hunter World to interfere with that. Keep in mind, Capcom would also have to pay them to do it. It's not like Iron Galaxy is going to show up and do it for free. Not only do they have to convince Capcom that they can do it, they have to convince Capcom to also pay them. So Capcom has to see that there is enough money there. I do think Monster Hunter World would sell on the Switch. Obviously, the crowd with Nintendo is used to Monster Hunter. They would buy into Monster Hunter. But at that point, Capcom has to make sure that it's at least a respectable port, not a Borderlands, not an Arkham Knight. They want a Skyrim. That's what they want. Would they get it from Monster Hunter World? That's the question. According to Adam, it's hard, it's difficult, but not impossible. So it's going to come down to if Capcom has something in the works now already for the Switch, because if they don't, other than Double Cross, maybe they reach out to them and say, yeah, let's take a shot and see what you can do, and if it's good enough, we'll actually present it to the public. Otherwise, it might just die behind the scenes and we just never see it, or maybe we hear about it 15 years later after, when Adam Boyes is done, working on ports and everything, or running this company, and he shares, something with an insider or someone at Kotaku, or they write a book about it. So it's pretty interesting to hear about it, and we'll just have to see if anything pops up, anything further from Adam Boyes, Iron Galaxy, or even Capcom themselves. Next up, let's talk about an interesting glitch that took place with the Nintendo Switch. During the 1 year anniversary, gamers were noticing that their playtime in different games, Zelda was the one that really popped up first, as that did turn one along with the Nintendo Switch. Your playtime would reset to 0. So usually when you go into your profile, you can see how many hours you put in every game and everything, but everyone's was resetting to 0. Many accounts were coming out of that happening. Pictures were being posted all over the internet. Nintendo themselves came out later saying they know this is a glitch, they've seen it, they acknowledge it, and they're, I guess, working on some kind of patch to fix it. Now, according to others, specifically Nintendo Force, for example, on Twitter, it's not actually erasing your playtime. It's essentially making it go, I guess, invisible in this case, or just replacing it with a 0 for now. But it still knows your playtime, because according to Nintendo Force, about 10, 11 days later, it will pop back up with your normal playtime. So if you had 100 hours in Zelda, it says 0 now. Well, in about a week and a half, it should come back to 100 hours. Hopefully, before then, though, you'll have some kind of patch from Nintendo that just fixes it, because it seems like it might happen with each game that turns 1, maybe. So as we go forward, it seems like maybe just an issue with the operating system, maybe a bug or something. It's not erasing your playtime, just know it's technically just kind of hiding it from you. So we'll keep an eye out for some kind of stability patch. I'm sure we'll go through that probably fixes this in some kind of very small update, how we see like 4.1 or something. This will probably be like 4.000 or whatever, and that'll pretty much come through and hopefully fix it. Next up, let's talk a little bit about E3. We're getting there, guys. It sounds crazy because it does feel like E3, we had that pretty recently. Everyone was freaking out things like Metroid Prime 4, Monster Hunter was great there, Monster Hunter World, but we're coming back up on it. It's happening. It sounds crazy, like I said, but technically we're a little over 3 months or so now away from it, and we're starting to hear more about each company's plans. We already know EA is going to have their EA Play like usual. Did this last year where it was like their own little event where they showed everything off. Sounds like Bethesda is going to be doing their own thing. Again, they kind of had their own little presentation. In this case, though, they're going to be going pretty early. They're actually going on Sunday. That's right, June 10th, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. They're going to be having a whole presentation, and now the question is, what are we going to see? Are we going to see the next Doom? Doom 2, I guess they would call it. Maybe they call it Doom 2018. I'm not sure what they would call it, but maybe we see another Doom. That would be really neat. Maybe we see that Starfield, that project we keep hearing about. I know what everyone wants. They want something like the Elder Scrolls 6, right? We've seen Skyrim so much now. Let's move on to the next thing. But really, at this point, it's anyone's guess. We could see anything there, and that's what's really exciting about this. So, let me know what you guys think we'll see really at this Bethesda press conference. Seems like they're already telling us about it. It's before E3. They must have some confidence. Maybe they have something really cool they want to show us ahead of the other presentations, and then have let's just say it's let's just pretend for a minute. Let's say it's Elder Scrolls 6. Maybe they want to show it ahead of time, and then that way in the following presentations, maybe Microsoft or PlayStation would grab it as a trailer they can show at their presentation. So they wouldn't technically spill the beans, that'd be Bethesda, but then maybe get an extended play trailer or something there. It'd be really cool to see, and I hope they have something really, really cool to show there. Next up, let's talk about EA and the world of loot boxes. Probably everyone's favorite topic to talk about, or I guess favorite one to get aggravated about, since it seems to be in every single EA game. Well, there's at least a little bit of good news around this, because it seems like the big wigs at EA, or even the developers, basically everyone up and down the line, it sounds like they heard everyone's message, or at least the gamers' message, as to how they feel about loot boxes and what they're willing to do to pretty much crush loot boxes, which is not even really buy into a Star Wars game, have it come in way under expectations, and even have them forced to pull those loot boxes out, only to put them back in later. It seems like they got the message. No one wants pay-to-win loot boxes. A lot of people don't even want loot boxes, period. Nobody wants pay-to-win loot boxes. No one wants these things to interfere with your gameplay, right? And that's the way it should be. I think most gamers will agree with that. Cosmetics, people are split on that, but I at least think as long as it doesn't destroy the gameplay experience, okay, most gamers will learn to live with it. So here's the thing, though. According to Kotaku and Jason Schreier, who talked to several people surrounding the Battlefield, the new Battlefield. We think it's Battlefield 5. I'm just going to continue to, I guess, talk about it in the sense of Battlefield 2018 because we know it's coming this year. So Battlefield 2018. It sounds like the developers there got the message. This is from a quote from Jason Schreier's article on Kotaku. Good article. Go read it. It's in the description. Saying, "No one's going to do any pay-to-win stuff anymore. We didn't take any of the loot box controversy lightly." So if we're not going to have loot boxes taken out, period, which I don't think we're going to see in games as a service. I would prefer to see a straightforward transaction, as in if someone wants to buy a costume instead of playing hours in the game to get it, sure, I get it. You spend $1 or $2, you get your favorite costume, and you don't have to go out and continue to grind through stages in a fighting game. You just want your costume, sure. But to have to put money in over and over again into a loot box that gives you better weapons, no one's going to stay. Battlefront 2 showed us that gamers, whether they don't agree with maybe they don't like the Xbox, maybe they don't like the PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever. No one likes these loot boxes that affect your gameplay, so I'm glad to see that EA is at least learning. They understand that that's the case, because I'll tell you now, if Battlefield comes out and it has game-breaking loot boxes like Battlefront, at least Battlefront had Star Wars to fall back on, and I think that at least helped their sales to where they are now. Yeah, if that breaks gameplay in Battlefield, they don't have the Star Wars name. They have Battlefield, but Battlefield's not worth what Star Wars is when it comes to notoriety and mainstream gaming, and they will not get as many casuals on board with that as we would have with Star Wars. I mean, take a look at something like Medal of Honor, for example. That didn't turn out so well, and that wasn't even because of loot boxes, just because people forgot about it. Next up, we found out a bit about the next couple of Neo Geo games coming to Nintendo Switch. If you don't know, maybe you don't have a Switch, maybe you're looking into one, or maybe you even have one, and you kind of see the Neo Geo games pop up. The Nintendo Switch has quickly turned into like a Neo Geo Mini almost, because so many of these obscure Neo Geo games just continue to hit the market over and over. It's crazy. I mean, like Sengoku 2, stuff you would never expect to show up on a platform like this, they're showing up in droves, and it's selling well. According to many outlets, the Neo Geo games have eclipsed over 1 million sales, which is crazy. But there's more coming. In fact, from Japanese Nintendo, posted up on their Twitter, later reposted on their website. There's a full list of ones that are showing up down the road now. Real Bout, Fatal Fury, Aero Fighters 3, World Heroes 2, Sengoku 3, Samurai Showdown 3, Ghost Pilots, Gururin, Stakes Winner, and Real Bout, Fatal Fury Special. So yes, the Switch and Neo Geo, they're just smashed together. They're just fused together as one at this point. And you're, I guess, gonna see more and more of these come over, and it's not surprising if they keep selling. You're probably, is it possible that we just get the entire Neo Geo library on the Switch? I mean, maybe. Someone needs to call and get Windjammers on this thing. Seriously, even if it's just a port of the Neo Geo version over, and if they can get online interactivity with that, I'm sold. I'm in. Seriously, I'll pay 20 bucks on that tomorrow, like for Windjammers. Like, no problem. So that needs to be one. I know it's on the PS4. I don't know if they have some kind of exclusivity deal there, because I have it on the PS4 and it works great. But honestly, at this point, the Switch is no stranger to Neo Geo. Get that game over, and let's bolster this lineup further at this point. And finally, in our last bit of news, Game Informer is celebrating their 300th issue. And how are they doing that? Well, for one, they're going to list the top 300 games according to them and their staff. Apparently, they went back and forth on it. I won't spoil which ones they picked, just in case you're waiting for your issue. I will say you can go on their digital service, their digital site, and get a digital copy of it in this case. And you can read through it yourself before the printed copy arrives. I have a few questions about this that I couldn't seem to find answers for, specifically about the covers that they are printing out. I'm trying to figure out if they're random or each one comes with like basically all of these covers kind of maybe in like the spine or something, or if it's just a random selection, you get which one you get and that's it. Go to your GameStop to get the others. But in this case, they are doing 5 different covers. One of them I need to get. I need to make sure I get it, and I'm going to go over that for you guys. But the 5 different covers are very interesting because they're centered around 4 different games. Then the other one is based around their original cover from when they first started with Game Informer back in, a while ago. I'd say, I mean, if they're coming up on, I guess it's 27 years, this would be like 91, 92 when they first really started doing this, I guess at least their magazine print. But here are the 4 covers, you're going to see them here, and they're based around 4 different games. Red Dead Redemption, Minecraft, World of Warcraft, and the one you're seeing here, Metroid. Man, does it look awesome. I need to make sure I get it. I got the Mega Man 11 cover that had all of the really cool, like it had all the generations of Mega Man right there. But this Metroid one looks amazing. The artist here did great work. I'm gonna have to get it, even if I don't really keep the magazine, just, carefully cut the cover off so I have it. And that's gonna be cool. I kind of wish they had sold digital prints. Maybe they have them somewhere online, just digital prints of these, so I can even just buy like the print of this Metroid, like in a way I can hang it up or even blow it up for a poster. It is that cool looking. Go check it out. And if you don't have Game Informer, I guess maybe go by your GameStop and see if you can leaf through and find this or any of the other covers, because like Red Dead looks cool, the Minecraft one's kind of funny, and World of Warcraft look good too. If you're a fan of any of the series, it might be worth picking one up just to have it for collector's sake. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, guys. It really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave a bunch of comments down below about any of the stuff we talked about today. Monster Hunter World. Do you think it's going to the Switch? Do you think Iron Galaxy has a shot here with Capcom? Or do you think Capcom has something else in the works for the Switch and they're just kind of going to say, you know what, that's okay, we appreciate it, and it'd be cool to see you try, but we have some other stuff figured out here. Also, let me know what you think about the Neo Geo lineup on the Switch. EA being a little careful with loot boxes this time with Battlefield, whether you think they learned their lesson or maybe you think they're going to try to push the envelope again here with Battlefield. I'm curious about that. And then what do you think Bethesda is going to show here at E3? Do you think they'll have some cool stuff there for Elder Scrolls fans? Do you think they'll be attacking the Switch further? Or do you think they're going to mostly stick with the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro for pushing, I guess, visual clarity and in this case, resolution? Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.